What do The Weeknd, Andre DeGrasse, Mike Myers, and the Bare Naked Ladies all have in common? Any ideas? Well, they all have ties to a place called Scarborough, Ontario. Scarborough is one of the most culturally diverse places in our province here in Canada, and it is located just east of the city of Toronto. It is known for its affordability, different amenities, and of course, its diversity. Scarborough is home to places like the Scarborough Bluffs, the Rouge River National Park System, and a huge immigrant population with nearly half of the residents born outside of Canada. It truly does bring in people of all walks of life. It is also well located just east of the city of Toronto, making it very desirable for people in terms of commuting in and out. All that being said though, is Scarborough for everybody? Well, I'm about to take you through the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to Scarborough. I've prepared a list of pros and cons for you so that you can learn whether or not moving to Scarborough is something that will be fitting for you and your lifestyle. All right, come with me and let's go take a look. If you're new to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about moving to Toronto and the surrounding areas, then this is where you got to be. Make sure you hit that like button and you hit the bell for notifications so that you learn everything you need to know about Toronto and surrounding areas. My name is Christina and I'm a local real estate agent. I help people who are looking to buy, sell, and lease in Toronto all the time, and I absolutely love it. So if that's you, if you're looking to buy, sell, or lease, please take a look at my information below, reach out, and I'd be happy to make that transition as smooth as possible for you. What we're going to be doing today is looking at a place called Scarborough, Ontario. Scarborough is a suburb that's located just east, about 25 kilometers from the city of Toronto, and it is very well known for its diversity and multiculturalism. What I'm going to do today is take you through a list of pros and cons of moving to or living in Scarborough. We're going to look at some of the best features as well as some things that might be considered drawbacks of living or moving here. Come with me and let's get after it. All right, everybody, let's start with our pros. The first pro of living in Scarborough that I'm going to talk about is affordability. When I say that Scarborough is affordable, I mean that relative to other places like Richmond Hill, Mississauga, Vaughan, the downtown core, relative to those places, Scarborough is more affordable. If you're looking to buy a place, your budget will take you further here, which is really, really great. Now, in addition to that relative affordability, Scarborough also offers a wide range of different types of properties or residences that you could choose from. What you'll notice is that there are lots of apartment buildings, there's condos. I'm currently in a neighborhood, the Woburn neighborhood in Scarborough, and there's lots of beautiful detached homes here. And I've also passed by some townhouses and semi-detached homes. So lots of choice here. What does that translate into? Well, it translates into, a lot of first-time home buyers who are looking to settle here and a lot of immigrant families. There's about 625,000 people here in Scarborough, and nearly half of them are immigrants. They're born outside of Canada. Now that brings me to my second pro of living in Scarborough. All right, everybody, on to our next pro of moving to and living in Scarborough, and that is diversity. As I've already mentioned, nearly half of the residents here in Scarborough are actually born in other places. There are tons of people from, Sri Lanka, China, Southeast Asia, you name it. There are people from all walks of life here in Scarborough. And what's really nice is that you can see that diversity and multiculturalism right in the storefronts. I'm just on Lawrence Avenue right now, and there are tons of different places with various types of cuisine, different types of places of worship. So if you're someone who likes to shake things up in terms of flavor and spice, you can definitely find a cool, authentic restaurant here in Scarborough. And if you value diversity as a whole, this is probably the place for you. All right, everybody, pro number 2 of Scarborough is its location. Scarborough is very, very well located. As I already mentioned, it's about 25 kilometers east of the city of Toronto, which, if you're driving and there's no traffic, it takes about 30 minutes to get to the downtown core. But it's really nice to live in a suburb that is still close to a city. You don't get the congestion of Toronto, but you're still close enough to arrive there in a decent time frame. Now, what's also great about the location of Scarborough is access to highways. Scarborough is very close to both the 401 and the Don Valley Parkway, which means it's very well located, and that feature definitely draws people into Scarborough because it just makes travel a lot more convenient. All right, everybody, next up for our pros is some of the amenities and attractions that Scarborough has to offer. I'll start with Scarborough Town Centre, which is where I am right now. Scarborough Town Centre really is a one-stop shop. If you're moving to Scarborough and you love to shop and you love kind of going to one location and getting all of your errands done, this is exactly where you'll want to be. Scarborough Town Centre has your retail shops. It's close by a lot of different grocery stores. There's restaurants. You can get your banking done. You can get your hair done. Everything you can imagine is right here. What's great is that Scarborough Town Centre is actually located right off Highway 401, so easy access for anyone who's coming in by car. And it's also connected to the TTC via the RT line. So if you are somebody who doesn't have a car and wants to travel in or needs to travel in by using the TTC, then no problem at all. You will absolutely be able to do that here. You can come to Scarborough Town Centre and get all your things done in one shot. There are lots of parks, green spaces, and trails here in Scarborough. So because it is situated east of Toronto and it borders Lake Ontario, you have places like the Scarborough Bluffs. I'm actually right by the marina that's near the Bluffs over here, but there's lots of hiking trails. There's the beach. There's also Rouge River National Urban Park as well that's located in Scarborough. So if you are an outdoorsy person and you like being active, Scarborough could be the place for you. There's lots of stuff to do in terms of outdoor activities, especially in the spring and summer. And now on the note of families, you might be thinking, what is Scarborough like in terms of schools? Well, there are many public, private, Catholic schools that are in the Scarborough area, both elementary and secondary. I'm actually standing right here outside of Centennial College, which is one of Scarborough's post-secondary institutions. So if you are, moving to Scarborough and you're looking to go to college, Centennial might be the place for you. The University of Toronto Scarborough campus is also located here. So in terms of quality education, there are definitely lots of options in the Scarborough area. All right, everybody, we've talked about our pros of living in and moving to Scarborough. Let's talk a little bit about some of the cons now. I know naturally we want to focus on the positive things, but when it comes to buying a house, right? That's one of the most important decisions that we will ever make. So we have to also consider some of the negative things related to that decision to make sure that we are ultimately making the right decision. So our first con is the cost of living in Scarborough. Now, I know I mentioned earlier that relative to other places, Scarborough is more affordable. That is absolutely true, but all things said and done, Scarborough ranks pretty high. If you want to rent, let's say, a one-bedroom apartment here, that's going to cost close to $2,000 a month. In terms of purchasing a home, to purchase, let's say, a one-bedroom condo, you're looking at anywhere, beginning in the $400,000 range. And if you want to purchase a detached house, let's say, that could start anywhere in the $800,000 range. So it's definitely not cheap. And of course, rent and mortgage payments aren't the only thing that we have to consider when we're thinking about cost of living. There's taxes, there's utilities, groceries, personal items, tons of things that we have to pay for in addition to just the place that we're living. So it is really important that we consider that, the cost of living in Scarborough is not low. All right, everybody, on to con number 2 for moving to Scarborough, and that is the harsh winter weather. Now, if you know anything about Toronto, the surrounding areas like Scarborough, or Canada as a whole, you'll know that harsh winter weather is just part of the deal. And in Scarborough itself, it's not uncommon for the weather to be as cold as -20 degrees Celsius, potentially even colder with the wind chill. It's also not uncommon for us to get a lot of snow. Some days there can be 10, 15, 20 centimeters of snow on the ground. Now, if you are thinking about buying here, some look-fors for your potential place might be a place that has either underground parking, like some of these buildings behind me, or maybe a house that has a garage so that you're not stuck dusting all the snow off of your car after a classic Canadian dump. Something to think about for sure. All right, now on to the third con of living in Scarborough, and that is getting around. I talked a little bit earlier about how Scarborough is well located, specifically though for people who do own cars. Of course, there is a transit system here in Scarborough. We have the TTC. However, it isn't as robust, I'll say, as how it is in the downtown core. In the downtown core, you have a lot more subway stops as well as streetcars, whereas in Scarborough, the TTC is more dependent on bus routes, and buses, I mean, the timing isn't always perfect. You're left waiting some days, so you can't really depend on the TTC too much. Now, if you do have a car, getting around is a lot easier. However, one thing you can definitely expect is traffic. Getting around, even by car, can be a bit difficult because of the traffic. So again, all things to think about if you are considering Scarborough as your next place to live. All right, everybody, that is a wrap. I hope you learned a thing or two about Scarborough, Ontario. I went through some of the pros and cons today, so I hope that if you are thinking about moving to Scarborough, that you now have a better idea of what this place has to offer, how you can get around, schools, amenities, cost of living, things like that. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, please give me a shout. My info's down below. Send me a text, shoot me an email, schedule a Zoom call, and I would be happy to help you make that smooth move into Toronto. All right, so please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, because we have just a wealth of knowledge in terms of information about Toronto and surrounding areas. Make sure you check out this video right here, which goes into a little bit more detail about metropolitan Toronto, so more so in the downtown core, some of the pros and cons and things to expect as well. All right, I hope to see you soon. Please stay safe, have fun, and I hope to catch you living in Toronto soon.